And good evening, everybody, and welcome aboard for another edition of Fowl Territory. It is number 344, and it is Monday, January, not December, January 26th. So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. So, let's see who we've got out here so far. We have Gun Website's first one in, and then the long away Jason Stewart has made an appearance back out there in the chat. Welcome, Jason Stewart. Also, Rich White out there and in here. Fluffy 10 millimeter Jeep guy in the audience. Rich White has been a member for how many months? 39 months. Wow. That's impressive, I tell you. 39 months. Thank you very much, sir. Also, we have Calamity Gene out there in the audience, along with Ozzy Osbourne, who's barking at the moon. Vulcan Rumble is out there, as is Alaska One Andy. And the wonder from down under, TJ Fishing and Shooting, is here. Welcome. Pack Rat's Attic also out in the audience, and Alex Parlin. All right, that's a good start. 16 people in here, and we are off and running. So let's go ahead and introduce my lone panelist this evening, the aforementioned host of This Week Unloaded on the Unloaded Media Channel. He comes to us from the valleys of West Virginia, originally hailing from the Keystone State. And he, of course, is Rich White. Good evening.
Yo, now, what are we going to talk about tonight? I mean, didn't we just talk about this about everything last night? Was there anything left?
Did you have a show last night?
Yeah,
was I
so.
on it? Oh.
Yeah, I believe so.
How about that? Say hello to Boomstick. Boomstick. I believe that is Mrs. Packrat, if I'm not mistaken. Also have Honcho Fett. Haven't seen Honcho Fett in a couple of weeks. Welcome aboard, everybody. All right. Also, Agorizer is out there with a hi-ho cluckers. Wow. 24 people all of a sudden out here in this mess. How about that? We do have a giveaway, by the way. It's rolling across the bottom of the screen. This show, of course, is sponsored by the good folks at Aegis Gun Care, who are the leader in performance and protection. If you want to enter tonight's giveaway, the hashtag is #FT344. FT344. I want to say hello to, all the way back from SHOT Show. Let's welcome the Gun Snob. He is out there. We also have Kentucky Rimfire. Yes, I'm Mrs. Packrat. Hey, I got one right. All right. Very cool. I remembered somebody. So, awesome. So what's going on, Rich?
I don't know.
You're here for entertainment. Are you going to entertain? No?
I did that. This is your show, man. I'm just here for...
Oh, I see how it is. It's my show. Mm-hmm. Say hello to Dale Pogue. Also, Jacob S. is in the audience. All right, so 26 people. Jacob S. says, we got 12.5 inches of snow here. So everybody put your snow reports out there. I know we had the big monster. I don't even remember. This storm had a name. Anybody remember what the name of it was?
Nope.
Winter Storm somebody. Somebody will have it. Gun Snob says, hello all. I'm too lazy to type everyone's name that said hi to me. Well, that's all right. We got another panelist. Let's welcome aboard the self-proclaimed chat ruiner extraordinaire, but he also hosts his own show on Thursday nights on the Guns and Barbecue channel. So let's welcome aboard Guns and Barbecue. Good evening. From the Keystone State, no less.
Oh, I was all set for it. Then you're like, so let's, whatever, Guns and Barbecue. It's like, click the ways to make sure I was unmuted. And then you're like, from the Keystone State. It's like, frick.
Honcho Fett says Winter Storm Fern. That's quite a name for a storm. Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob
Jacob said the
said-
same thing.
Yeah, Jacob said the same thing. So the gun snob says Mystic got 2 inches and we got 9 inches of snow. I wonder what he means.
He gave it to her twice.
I guess so.
Good
More
for
than
her.
twice. If he got 9 inches, he gave it to her more than twice. Dale Pogue is out there. He says 12.5. Alex Parlin says 0. Wow. Vulcan Rumble says 22 inches in Massachusetts. Agorizer says, come on, we have Chets to ruin. Let's ride.
Right.
Packrat says, we just got a lot of ice. Agorizer says 7 inches, no pleasure. Jason Stewart says she got more than 2 inches after you left. Wow. Wow. And Mr. Bob Dabalina is out there. He says, snow, doesn't it have to be cold for snow? I think it does. Wow. Huncho Fett says, ice, freeze, and rain, but a whole lot of nothing here in North Carolina. So, yeah, we had a bunch of people who were at SHOT Show this past week who had fun getting home. Some of them had to move up their travel plans. Some of them even had to scrap their travel plans as far as grabbing a flight home. And at least one, who shall go unnamed unless he wants to self-identify, ended up renting a car and driving himself home. That's right. Jacob says, yeah, it's 0 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I want to say hello to Artak and Daughters out there. Also, Block 9 is out there. Packrat's Addict says, check out my shot. Mrs. Packrat did a video of my Durango. Nice. Agorizer says, Flying Rich is still in Vegas. That's correct. Gerald Muir is out there. He says, hello. The Gun Snob says, TJ just got home today. He ended up at Dallas-Fort Worth for 2.5 days.
Wow.
That does not sound like fun at all. Now, TJ, of course, he's got to ruin it for everybody. He says 123.8 degrees Fahrenheit here. Hottest day so far. Yeah. In the land of summertime.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather deal with the 0 degrees. I can always put more layers on. He can only take so much off.
Now, the Gun Snob says, what kind of idiot would drive home 18 hours after no sleep? Exactly. That's what I say. Alaska One Andy says minus 17 here. By the way, all temperatures are assumed to be in Fahrenheit as we are in imperial country, so we still use those units here.
We won the war. We get to decide the units.
That's right.
Yeah.
None of this metric stuff for us.
16 right now with a wind chill of 1.
Calamity Jean says, we have 1.5 inches. Dale Pogue says 17 degrees. What is the temperature here? 17 degrees here, too. Wow. Packrat says 31 here. Jason Stewart says freedom units. Exactly. I like the way he thinks.
I don't know how much snow that we got. We got absolutely hammered. All I know is when I go outside and step in the snow, it goes up to my knee. And obviously the snow would pack under my boot. So add a couple inches to whatever that is.
Yeah. Ours, the dog walks across the top of it because it's a solid sheet of ice at this point.
Block 9 says we get it bad in the DFW 10. Gerald Muir says 21 degrees feels like 16. Mr. Bob says currently 14 Fahrenheit. Lots of white stuff on the ground. Once I got off my street, all the roads were plowed completely clear. Gun Snob says it's warm here today. 18. It was -3 when I woke up this morning. Now TJ, Fishing and Shooting, says you won the war. It was the Aussies that first stopped the German and Japanese armies. Uh-oh, Rich. Get him.
Well, it depends on what front he's talking about.
Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies is out there. Agorizer says, at least it was the light powdery stuff, so I didn't die shoveling. Artak and Daughter says, no snow in East Tennessee. Temperature 14, wind chill of 6. Dale Pogue says 17 feels like 1. Jason Stewart says it's like a normal winter here.
Mm-hmm.
Boomstick says 31 and no snow in Castle Rock, Colorado. I heard 12 inches back home. So I think that's probably about the end of our weather reports out there. So Jacob S says, I was lucky my neighbor lets me use their bobcat to shovel snow.
Lucky son of a gun.
As long as you pet it first, I guess that's all right. Hillbilly Up is out there. Good evening.
He should jump in here.
J Delta 22NC is out there. So we got 30 people out there in the chat. Jason says everyone heard 12 inches back home. Kentucky Rimfire and Hobby says 14 degrees here, more ice than snow. Yeah, I saw, I think it was on Shanna Ewing's Facebook. She had a picture of them breaking the ice off the pickup. That was a lot of ice on that pickup. So
it was the same way with the Maverick. It was coming off in sheets.
Well, this was sheets like yay thick.
Yeah, well, we had snow that thick, and it froze overnight where it was like, yeah. So yeah, when it was coming off in sheets like that thick here.
Vanessa Kitty's out there. She says 20 plus inches here. So a lot of people got it worse than me. I think we had around 5, maybe 6. That's about it. So towards the low end of what they forecast, they said 4 to 8, and we kind of, close to the middle, I guess. So could have been worse. Never lost power, thank goodness. So Jacob S. says our city was basically on lockdown because the state issued a state of emergency for our region. Oh, wow. That's not good. Well, I hope everybody's all right. So what else is going on in the world, you two? I know a lot's transpired since last night when we had Rich's show.
Rich had a show last night?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I had no notification.
Yeah, Gary heard it because he was on the panel.
Now,
It would help if you sent out invites.
I did.
Block 9 says Battle of Britain stopped the Germany war machine from taking another country before the Aussies. We're gonna have war arguments now. Packrat says it was so thick here I couldn't open my doors. We had no water in the morning. Vanessa Kitty says let the fireplace and wore comfy insulated clothes, drank hot chocolate. That's always a good plan. We had a comment earlier. Let's see. Kentucky Rimfire and Hobby says, well, I ain't gonna win nothing here. Jacob S is here. But now Jacob says, I haven't won any giveaways in a good while, Rimfire. So maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. But we haven't seen Denny. Denny's won quite a few, especially over on the member side. And I believe Packrat's won his share lately. So there's some people's got some pretty good streaks going. So we'll see. Anyway, the hashtag to enter tonight's giveaway, as it says down below, #FT344, just like Rich White typed in there. Vanessa Kitty says, I win here every now and then. Yes, you do. So Kentucky Rimfire Justin says it's my turn to win. Well, if the powers to be decide that's how it's gonna be, I always say may the odds be ever in your favor. Of course, I might get in trouble for that. You never know. Hillbilly says you're due. Yeah. Mystic Guns is out there. Wow. We got quite a few people out here. Also see Ron 2A Matters has jumped in. Kentucky Rimfire and Hobby says he's an imposter. So we got the real Kentucky Rimfire and the imposter. Wow. You always got to know your original and your imitation out there. Speaking of Denny, I just mentioned him, and there he is. Denny's plant-based journey has joined us. All right. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. We got 34 people in here. Dale Pogue says, I haven't won anything since the 300th show. Wow, it's been almost a year then for you. Not quite. So, well, maybe your luck will change tonight. We will find out. But we got a pretty good crowd here, so shall we look at an article we can discuss? Ozzy says there are no barbecue heard before. Is that true? You guys agree with that?
I
don't know. I feel like without the barbecue gun, the barbecue holster would just become like a barbecue pouch.
But if you put a barbecue gun in a crap holster, nobody's going to notice your barbecue gun, are they?
Oh, they will.
But if you have a super cool holster, people will comment on it, even if you have a crappy gun in there. I think that's what he's saying.
It's like putting a Corvette into one of those canvas carports, but like you can just see through all sides of it because it's so dry rotted and holy. It's just like, why are you doing that? That's why like you need like a good 3-bay garage to put your Corvette in.
Yeah, and putting a bad gun into a good holster is just like putting a Ford Pinto into one of those showroom style garages. It just looks silly.
If you're gonna wear an Uncle Mike's holster, you could put the nicest gun in the world in there. I'm still gonna make fun of you. Vanessa Kitty says my shoulder holsters go well at any social function. There you go. You gotta be coordinated there. Alex Parlin says Minneapolis dude shot had loaded gun plus 2 mags, total of 64 rounds on him. He also had no ID on him. I don't know all the facts on that, but
I
carrying a gun in and of itself, there's way more to this issue than that. And I don't really want to go into it. We could make a whole nother program on that. And we would have to agree to disagree probably on it. I want to try to cover some other things. And then if we have some spare time, maybe we can touch on that. So that's my way of saying, let's go on. You like how I did that? So we want to talk about the Keystone State, first of all.
Wasn't prepared again.
Good news from the Keystone State. How about that? Yeah, that's right. Put that Keystone out there. We're going to talk about some Keystone here. All right. So here is the article from Bearing Arms, and it says, big preemption win out of Keystone State. This is by John Petrolino. Pennsylvania has a robust preemption law, but that hasn't stopped anti-liberty forces from enacting infringements. A win out of Harrisburg, PA, marked the overturn of their final illegal firearm-related ordinance. Under Pennsylvania law, Title 18, Section 6120A, municipalities are forbidden from preempting Commonwealth law on firearms. Over the years, there have been many cities and jurisdictions that ignore this provision of the law. Harrisburg, the Commonwealth's capital, had several ordinances that infringed on the rights of the people. The most recent ordinance to fall, the court says, constitutes a reversible error. The preemption law that provided the framework for the challenge states, no county, municipality, or township may in any manner regulate the lawful ownership, possession, transfer, or transportation of firearms, ammunition, or ammunition components when carried or transported for purposes not prohibited by the laws of this Commonwealth. According to a post by attorney Joshua Prince, he and his law firm secured a major victory against the city of Harrisburg's latest remaining illegal firearms ordinance in Firearm Owners Against Crime Institute for Legal, Legislative, and Educational Action, et al., versus City of Harrisburg, 1523 CD 2024. Boy, that's a whole mouthful right there. The ordinances in question concern the regulation of firearms related to minors, parks, discharge, and lost or stolen. Those specific Harrisburg ordinances pertain to sections, and a bunch of sections are listed there. I'm not going to read them. Potentially the most egregious of the provisions of Harrisburg regulations was 3355.2, where if the mayor calls a state of emergency in the city, it's prohibited to sell firearms, transfer firearms, display firearms, possess in public a long gun, and deem the possession in a public place or park of weapons, including but not limited to firearms, bows and arrows, air rifles, slingshots, knives, razors, blackjacks, billy clubs, or missiles of any kind, unlawful. Whenever the city chooses to exercise its powers under the emergency ordinance's provisions, its actions will place the individual appellants in the unenviable position of having to choose between giving up what they view as their right to armed self-defense, risking criminal prosecution, or avoiding the city to the detriment of their professional, economic, and personal interest, the opinion says. To deprive them of an opportunity to challenge the emergency ordinance merely because they have not yet been harmed by its provisions would be inimical to the very purpose of pre-enforcement standing. The opinion comes from the Commonwealth Court and is being remanded back down to a trial court. The trial court previously held that the emergency provision goes against the Commonwealth's preemption law. The trial court will have to issue a permanent injunction enjoining the city from enforcing the ordinances. Please join us in thanking Judge Wolf for upholding the law and congratulating Josh and FOACILLEA for always remaining steadfast in their dedication to defending Article 1, Section 21, 18 PACS 6120 and the Second Amendment. The post on Prince's website says, "We would highly encourage anyone in a financial position to do so to donate to FOAC-ILLEA so it can continue to support important litigation defending our rights." Prince's office, Firearms Industry Consulting Group, has been systematically making short order of unconstitutional laws in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This latest legal battle took over 11 years to bring to this point and will find completion soon when the lower court issues an injunction. And then it's got information on how to contact them if you wish to do so. So, what do you think about that? Good news in Pennsylvania for a change. Don't be so excited now.
It's same story, different municipality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, and the sad thing is, things like this, Philadelphia does over and over and over, and they get their junk slapped every time, and then they still do it. I realize this isn't Philadelphia, this is Harrisburg, but something more needs done than just these little things all the time. There needs to be something done at the state legislature that really makes these municipalities go, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Agarizer says, making government follow its own rules. Yay?
Yeah, from the way that was written, this isn't exactly the same situation with Philadelphia where they keep passing the same thing. This is just the way that was written looked like it was something that was just overlooked for a long time.
Well, I'm not saying that Philadelphia is doing the exact same thing over and over. It's just a violation of preemption.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying that the way that was, it was like something that slipped through the cracks and somebody finally picked up on it.
Yep.
Honcho Fit says, recently completed the North Carolina concealed carry handgun class to get my permit since moving back here. Now just have to wait on the NC Sheriff's Office to process my application. Sheesh. Wow.
What great tyranny.
Abigail Finnegan's here. She says, government has been trampling rights for generations. That's true. Kentucky Rimfire Justin says Virginia has a bunch of anti-gun regulations trying to get passed. We'll go there.
Virginia has more than just anti-gun stuff on the docket to be passed. That state's in trouble.
Abigail says, my standard loadout is 4 mags, 115 rounds in my Glock, and 3 17-round mags. Also a knife, light, medical, and other admin items. She coming prepared.
No Israeli bandage, really?
So Abigail says, y'all are asking permission to exercise your rights? I've never asked. There's nobody to ask. So, checking something real quick. Hang on. Okay, nothing pressing. So, we're going to talk about Virginia right away. I want to talk about some more good news. I'm kind of in the mood to talk about good news for a change. How about you guys? You guys like good news?
I don't like good news. I only like bad news.
We don't want to be gloom and doom.
chats.
We don't want to be gloom and doom all the time. Everybody else does that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Kentucky. I know we got some Kentucky people out there. All right. So Kentucky moving towards recognizing 2A rights of young adults. All right. This is by Cam Edwards. And Cam says Kentucky has pretty solid gun laws, especially considering it has a Democrat governor. Andy Beshear isn't quite what I'd call a pro-gun Democrat, but he has quietly allowed several pro-2A measures to become law without whipping out his veto pen, and he's been mum about things like the state's permitless carry law as well. Beshear has come out in favor of red flag laws, though, and with rumors swirling about his intentions to run for president in 2028, the governor may be looking to make inroads with the gun control lobby. Keep that in mind as Kentucky lawmakers advance a bill that would lower the age to carry from 21 to 18. House Bill 321 would let 18 to 20-year-olds obtain a provisional concealed carry license. Bill's sponsor, Representative Savannah Maddox, argued the age group is already allowed to possess the firearms, and leaving restrictions in place that prevent concealed carry runs counter to the Second Amendment. Yes, it does. We recognize their adulthood and responsibilities that come with it in every other area, but we deny them the ability to protect themselves and their loved ones whenever they step outside their home, she said. Now, this is still an intermediate step, given that adults 21 and older can lawfully carry without the need for any kind of carry permit. This is still an age-based restriction on a fundamental civil right, though it's also a step in the right direction. As you might already have guessed, though, Maddox's bill isn't getting a warm welcome from the Democrat minority in the legislature. Lexington Democrat Representative Lindsey Burke was among the 3 no votes who were skeptical it would result in a safer state for young adults. She said, I'm concerned that what training does in the short amount of time that it happens doesn't mature an 18-year-old brain into a 21-year-old brain, she said. I worry that young people are at risk of self-harm, not even thinking about accidents. There are plenty of juveniles younger than 18 who know how to be safe and responsible with firearms, and there are plenty of adults older than 21 who are irresponsible idiots. Exactly. It's not like we magically flip on a maturity switch on our 21st birthday. An 18-year-old in Kentucky can vote, serve on a jury, get married, join the military, and be charged as an adult for any crimes they're accused of committing. Why then shouldn't they be able to exercise their right to bear arms as well? As Maddox pointed out, 18-year-olds can already keep a firearm, so why shouldn't they be able to bear one as well? So far, Beshear's kept his mouth shut about HB 321, but I suspect that groups like Everytown and Brady will be intensely lobbying the governor to veto the bill if it's approved by the legislature. Beshear's been politically savvy enough to know that governing like Gavin Newsom isn't going to fly in Kentucky, but I think he's also smart enough to know that governing like Andy Beshear probably won't do him any favors in a Democratic primary. How he treats HB 321 may signal his intentions for 2028, and hopefully Republicans are able to garner a veto-proof majority for Maddox's bill when it hits the house floor. Okay, thoughts on this?
Well, if their argument that being the one legislator that spoke out against it is, well, 18-year-olds just aren't mature enough yet to, consider actions or anything. Why are we allowing 16-year-olds to drive? I would be far more worried about, a 16-year-old behind a, 4,000 pound vehicle that can do a 100 plus mile an hour,
Right.
than an 18-year-old that just happens to have a firearm on their hip. Because the act of driving is something people do all the time, and it's an action that involves a ton of attention. The act of carrying, yes, it involves your attention all the time, all that, but the actual handling of the firearm, next to nothing.
Yeah, all they got to do is look at the state right next to them, West Virginia. We've already got that style provisional carry permit for 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. And guess
So
what?
do we.
There's not a bunch of blood running through the streets of people in their late teens.
I still think it's crazy that 18 to 20-year-olds have to get a permit to carry. Even in this state, it's the same way.
Well,
But once you're 21, you magically don't have to have that permit anymore.
Our constitutional carry law originally included 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, but because Nevada was going to cancel reciprocity, if we passed it that way, they caved to Nevada and put the provisional in for the 18, 19, and 20-year-olds instead of constitutional carry for them.
Yeah, we got some comments. Kentucky Rimfire Justin says, if you're old enough to die for your country, you're old enough to buy beer and carry a gun. TJ says, in Australia, 18, you're an adult. You can join the army, vote, drink alcohol, and go to jail. Jacob S. Echoed the same thing you did. They could make those same statements about driving age. Yes. So it's positive, but not positive enough. They passed that same law in my state a few years ago. It's like, that's great, but you could have done a lot better. So it's one of those things where it's not the ideal law, but it's a step in the right direction. So you hate to argue against it, saying you're not going far enough, and then you end up with nothing. So, but it'd be interesting to see what this governor does do, given that this governor has presidential aspirations. Don't you think?
He might have aspirations, but if Gavin Newsom's running, I don't think he has any chance of them letting him get the nomination.
Yeah, literally my exact thoughts. If they have the ticket, will be Newsom Shapiro, which is going to be the presidential candidate. I don't know, but that's going to be their ticket.
Okay, so now let's go to one more state. Let's go to Virginia. And we're going to find out that Virginia's gun and magazine ban bill just got worse. That's bad news. This is Cam Edwards again, and the article
We're only doing
reads...
good news.
What?
I thought we were only doing good news tonight.
We'll do a little bit more. I just thought I'd throw this in because we had some requests for it. A slate of gun control legislation is on the move in Virginia, with the Senate Courts of Justice Committee holding a hearing today with more than a dozen anti-gun bills on the schedule, including a newly amended ban on so-called assault firearms and large-capacity magazines. Be nice, Rich. Senator Saddam Salim, the chief sponsor of the legislation, acknowledged that the bill is designed to gradually reduce the number of firearms on the streets, but noted that the bill grandfathers in existing owners. That grandfather clause, however, doesn't extend to large capacity magazines. Quote, in the substitute bill introduced before the committee, possession of any detachable magazine that can hold more than 10 rounds would be a Class 1 misdemeanor punishable by up to 12 months in jail and or a $2,500 fine. Senator Mark Obenshain, one of the 5 Republicans on the bill, argued that the substitute bill would essentially outlaw any handgun that can accept a detachable magazine, and there was some discussion among Democrats about providing a fix to the legislation. However, the bill wasn't further amended by the Courts of Justice Committee today. Instead, they approved the substitute bill on a party line vote and sent it on to the Senate Finance Committee. Though there were more than a dozen opponents of the bill who signed up to testify online, including the Virginia Citizens Defense League, Senator Scott Surreville only allowed a handful of pro-2A Virginians to speak their mind. Representatives from Giffords, Everytown, Moms Demand Action, and other gun control groups were allowed to give their approval. The substitute bill approved today removes language that would have prohibited adults under the age of 21 from possessing assault firearms, as well as changing the definition of an assault firearm to remove language exempting guns manufactured before July 1, 2026, unless they were possessed by adults younger than 21. That may be an improvement, but this bill is still far from acceptable from a Second Amendment standpoint, and the slight improvement is more than offset by banning millions of magazines that are currently in the hands of lawful owners across the state. Oddly, while the bill doesn't directly ban the possession of an assault firearm, instead prohibiting the import, sale, manufacture, purchase, or transfer of these guns, some sections of the law do apply penalties for individuals convicted for the importation, sale, possession, etc. of assault firearms. That suggests the ultimate intent of Democrats like Salim is to make possession of an assault firearm just as illegal as possessing a magazine that can hold more than 10 rounds, whether by amending this bill or coming back in a session or two to modify Virginia's assault firearm ban. Democrats on the committee were quick to point out that the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals has already upheld Maryland's ban on assault weapons and commonly owned magazines capable of holding more than 10 rounds. Though Maryland's magazine ban does include an exception for those who purchase and possess their magazines before the ban took effect. The current language in SB 749 regarding magazines mirrors California's mag ban, which is currently being challenged in federal court. In fact, the Supreme Court took no action in Duncan v. Bonta today after debating it in conference last week. It is crucially important for the court to accept one or more of these pending cases challenging bans on so-called assault weapons and large-capacity magazines as soon as possible. And Virginia Democrats are giving the justices one more reason to grant cert in the weeks ahead. So there's some bad news that's going on in Virginia.
Yeah, and I just want to note there is one other difference with Maryland. Maryland does not outlaw magazines more than 10 rounds if they are purchased out of state. So say Kingpin or Krabby wanted to cross the border from Maryland into West Virginia to buy a 15-round magazine if they had a Glock 19, for example. They could do that and take it back to Maryland. They just can't purchase that magazine in the state of Maryland. And yeah, I've been keeping an eye on this Virginia thing because we go to Virginia a lot. So you're muted, Gary.
Guns and Barbecue, any thoughts on that? Maybe he's muted.
Yes, he is.
Maybe he fell asleep. Maybe I put him to sleep. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'll have to wake him up with some good news. Shall I
No, I'm awake. It wasn't letting me unmute.
Oh.
I was like, what the crap?
So go ahead.
No, not a whole lot of thoughts on it. Sounds like the same typical crap coming out of Virginia anymore, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like they're literally on a teeter-totter. They have Republicans take control and reverse everything. Democrats get back in, put it back in. Republicans get in and reverse it. Democrats get back in and put it's every election cycle. This is what's going on.
The thing that I think bothered me most in this thing was they said dissenting voices were silenced and, supporting voices were allowed to speak and be like, yes, we love this. Thank you. I think that's what really bothered me most about this.
Yeah, I'm not the least bit surprised because it's not just Virginia where we see that happening.
Let's say hello to Sandy V. Gina out there in the chat. Sandy says, sorry I'm late. I had to drop my kid off at the local Somali Learning Center daycare. Sounds legit. Driving them all the way to Minnesota? Wow. Did I say that? Oh.
Yeah. One thing that might hurt Virginia more than in the past, though, I believe they've also taken the anti-gun left has taken control of the judiciary as well.
Yeah. So one more good news article, and then we'll be done. I told you we'd finish on good news. This is kind of good news, kind of interesting news. And this article is Old Distillery Wall Reveals Prohibition Era Secret. All right, this is by Tom Knighton. Prohibition was an interesting time in American history, and not for great reasons. Ending the legal consumption of alcohol gave us things like the mafia, the government poisoning American citizens for consuming a substance they felt was harmful, and a lot of guns being shot at people. Through it all, we learned that if people want a product, then people will seek out a product, no matter how illegal the government wants to make it. Much of the prohibition drama, at least in the popular imagination, centers around Chicago. I mean, Elliot Ness, Al Capone, the Untouchables. It's a story Hollywood just couldn't leave alone. And recently, in Thornton, Illinois, a discovery in a local distillery is of some relevance to gun folks. They found what looks like a Colt 1903 hidden in the walls. Now, those who spent time living or working in old buildings know it's not all that unusual to find long forgotten or lost things from long ago in the back of closets, wedged between flooring, or tucked in inconspicuous corners of hard-to-reach shelves. A coin, a piece of paper, a wire hanger, a bottle, or a piece of jewelry are small items that might turn up in doing a deep cleaning or remodeling. At Thornton Distilling Company in Thornton, which dates back to 1857 and remains the oldest standing brewery in the state, the owners have found their share of little treasures over the years, from old receipts to beer bottles. On January the 19th, they found something quite out of the ordinary, but not all that surprising, considering the building's history as an illegal bootlegging operation that had ties to Chicago mobster Al Capone. The building operated as a soda bottling business during Prohibition, which stretched from 1920 to 1933, but there's no proof that a single bottle of soda was made during that time. Instead, German-style beer continued to be produced there, and it is believed to have been distributed throughout Chicago and the Midwest under the direction of Capone. It was a wild morning, said Howell. I found the pistol while measuring to install electrical infrastructure for our subterranean artesian well, a spot many of our wedding couples use for photos. After a photographer suggested adding a light at Sunday's bridal fair, I was inspecting the area and noticed an old potbelly stove vent in the wall. About 3 feet in, I discovered a void. While probing it, I felt something, shone my flashlight, and saw the pistol's chrome finish. Hal had the police run the serial number, and it was reported that the gun was made somewhere between 1903 and 1923. Coupled with everything else known about the now distillery, it became one in 2019 and now also hosts a restaurant and wedding venue. It sure looks like this was from the bad old days of Prohibition, when the brewery was still a brewery, even though alcohol had been banned. As noted from the photos at the original site, it looks like a Colt 1903, which likely would have been a popular enough pistol for those involved in bootlegging, as it was small and actually built as a pocket pistol, thus easily concealable. How did it get there? That's a great question, since it doesn't look like the place was ever raided by law enforcement during Prohibition. My guess, and it's just a guess, is that it was stashed somewhere that anyone could get to it at the time should it be needed, but as no one ever needed it, it just stayed there until the present day. It's always interesting to see what all might be stashed in the walls of a place. Newspapers are common, and I've seen a whole lot of beer cans come out of one wall, but I've never been lucky enough to get a vintage handgun when I've ripped off the plaster of an old house. Damn it. What do you think about that? That's pretty cool.
It's a history piece, that's for sure.
You ever find anything like that in an old house while you're working on it?
Found some old knives once, like old hunting knives and stuff, that were stashed in one of those registers for a furnace in the floor. Took the register cover off to clean it, and inside there was a oilcloth, and it had a bunch of old hunting knives wrapped in it. Don't know why they were in the heat register, but that's where they were.
Jacob S. says, I found a lot of coins when I remodeled my house. Sandy said they were making soda, but weren't. Sounds like a mini soda daycare. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Agorizer says, didn't Batman carry one of those 1903 or something similar?
I know in some comics he carried it in 1911. Before they did away with that stuff, saying it was too violent.
And Kentucky Rimfire Justin says the walls have guns. At least they do. They do in Illinois in some places. Anyway.
I hope that wall had a FOID card.
Yeah, for sure. Denny said, we had a construction company growing up. We found all kinds of things like bottles, cans, tools, papers, etc., but I never found a gun. Dang it. So if you've ever found a gun out there while working on a construction project, let us know.
So
that would be illegal, then don't let us know. Yes?
It wasn't a construction project or anything, but
kind of.
It was close to a decade ago now. My cousin was moving out of his mother's house. Him and his fiance had gotten their own place, and his dad had died a couple of years beforehand. So his mother told him, hey, take the gun cabinet with you, all that. And when he went to move the gun cabinet, an H&R top break 32 special had fallen out. No idea. None of us knew that my uncle had this. Still don't know where this was hidden in the gun cabinet. We can't find any like secret spot, nothing. Just all of a sudden it fell.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, Agorize out there is looking for unicorns.
10 millimeter sockets or wrenches. Kentucky Rimfire and Hobby says, I have a cousin that found $12,000 excuse me, in the wall of his house. Wow. Might have to ask him for a loan. That's right. But you know who you won't have to ask for a loan? And that is the good folks at Gear Websites, because they are your source for every second matters, gun channels, gear, ammo, ID, and more. They have patches, stickers, and other items, and every Friday is Free Patch Friday. So buy cool stuff at GearWebsites.com.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Oh, who's the chicken that everyone loves? Gizzard Gary, who's 4'2" but stands above. Gizzard Gary, a ton of ex-wives and more to come. Gizzard Gary, who loves to give gifts to everyone. Gizzard Gary, giveaway. Gizzard Gary, giveaway. Gizzard Gary, giveaway.
Hi, folks. Gizzard Gary here. All right, so it is time for the Fowl Territory prize giveaway. Get your hashtags out there, # FT344. here's what we're playing for tonight, folks. We're going to play for the Fowl Territory channel sticker, as big as my head, practically. That's big. That's big sticker. Yeah. Even bigger, the Fowl Territory podcast sticker. We also have, courtesy of Ron Wayne, the Ron Wayne Gizzard Gary unified sticker. You're going to get one of those. From Excess Sights, this is from last year's SHOT Show from Las Vegas. Excess Sights, fastest sights in any light, of course. We have a sticker here from the good folks at Live Free Armory, true American manufacturing. All right, and from DM Foss, we have our Hens collection. So you're going to get the Sarge and In Charge. You're also going to get Snobby's Dairy, straight from the bull. You're going to get the Haterade Thirst Destroyer. And you're going to get the Gizzard in the Chair sticker. And then in the second set, you're going to get Gizzard in the Jeep. Hold on just a minute. I think somebody went out and came back in. Okay. You're going to get Snob in his little car. And then there's Sarge. And last but not least, Obi on his motorcycle. Nice. Thanks to DM Foss for those. You're going to get some patches. First off, courtesy of Stan at SS Pawn, we have this from Dead Air Silencers. Also from Excess Sights, I'm Seeing Him at Night. Nice little patch there. And also, courtesy of Ron Wayne and Gun Owners of America, deer don't wear Kevlar vest. Which is good, because that'd make it hard to kill your deer if they did. And believe it or not, I found this laying around the office. Just one, but you're going to win a zipper pull. How about that? Courtesy of IWI. All right. And the winner, excuse me, a little bit froggy here tonight. The winner will receive a $20 Chick-fil-A gift card. If you are a channel member of mine, I'm going to add another $5 to that, and you'll win a $25 Chick-fil-A gift card. If you don't have a Chick-fil-A near you, or if you prefer something else, I can make arrangements to make that gift card anywhere else. Jacob S. says, oh no, everyone wants it now for that zipper pull.
I was going to say,
says the guy who has 50 of them in his house.
He's the only one who's going to win now because there's a zipper pull.
Probably. Danny says, going through puberty again? God, I hope not. That'd be hell. All right. Kentucky Rimfire Justin says, winner, chicken dinner. See, he's in the spirit of things. We've got 34 people. Is it 30 or 24? I can't read. I think that says 24. It does. We've got 34 people watching, though. I'll give you another minute or so to enter. Hashtag FT344 to enter the giveaway, folks. You can enter on YouTube, also on Twitch, or on Rumble. We're on all three platforms. And if you're really cool like Jacob, you can enter on all three. Mr. Bob says, zipper pull? Yeah. A blast from the past with the zipper pull.
Mm-hmm.
Gunsnob says, has anyone heard from Roll Call? Is he living under the strip in a tunnel yet? I heard he's back home. I believe he has returned. So I believe he did do a stream the other night. He is alive. But he did have fun there in Vegas. So Jacob, by golly, he took me to heart. He's going out here on these platforms, and he's entered twice on Twitch. So he wants that zipper pull. He says, I can't have anybody else in one of my zipper pulls. Sorry, I'm trying to get stuff out of my road here. Okay, I think we've waited long enough. You guys agree we waited long enough?
Yeah.
I think we've got 28 people entered in the giveaway, so we are going to go ahead and if I can find the button, where's my button? Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. That's why I can't find my button. Time for a drum roll, folks. All right.
This
So
drum roll's so much better.
Who's going to be our winner tonight? Is it going to be Jacob? Is he coming back? No. It looks like it's Mrs. Packrat, also
Yes,
known as Sheila.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Winner, chicken
You
dinner.
have to be present to win, so I need you
Yeah,
to
that's
put
true.
something out there in the chat and let me know you are out there.
Charity went to bed. Packrat's like going and hitting her with pillows.
Can I log in as you real quick? You just won something. Give her another few seconds. Jacob S says, I honestly.
There she is.
Oh, we got a winner. All right, right there. Well, if I can click on her. There we go. Yay. All right, so I need you to, yeah, I could probably send it to the other address, but if you would, please email me, winner, WINNER, at gizzardgary.com. Name and mailing address, please. Also, email so I can send you your Chick-fil-A gift card. So, very cool. Mr. Bob says, Gizzard Gary, your picker spelled Mr. Bob wrong. It did. It did for a fact. Now, the question is, since that is the wife of a channel member, do I go ahead and give her the extra $5 channel member money?
Might as well.
I think we do. We're going to count it. So the family are channel members. So I think that's only fair. So congratulations. We have a new winner. A new winner, kind of same as the old winner. Gunsnob says, give her $250. Wow, you're all hurt.
Right?
Packrat says it's the same address as mine. Do you want me to put your name on it too? And I just trust you to give it to her?
Well, you have his last name, so just put her first name.
Just put C/O, Mrs. Packrat.
And she may have a different email she wants me to send it to, so he don't eat all her chicken. I know how some couples are on these things. Not everybody shares everything.
Mm-hmm.
Straight across the board. So I'll let you guys figure that one out. That's up to y'all. But once again, congratulations. And now it's time to go ahead and transition. How about segue? I like that word a lot better. To our next segment, second favorite part of the show. This is where we let you send in pictures for me to put on a screen, and if they're fit to show. Jacob says you're looking at Misty when you say that. Maybe. I haven't seen Misty or Ron in here tonight, though, so I'm probably okay unless somebody tells on me. Don't do it, by the way. Don't do it.
Now, who would do a thing like that?
Who would do a thing like nobody's that ornery, are they? So send in your Gorn to Gorn, Gorn at gizzardgary.com. That's Gorn at gizzardgary.com. If you do that, I do ask that you put your channel name in there because it's not always really obvious from the email address what channel sent this in. And I don't want to read your government name or your email address out loud on the public YouTubes. So Packrat says we share. Okay. That's up to her. If she doesn't send me an email, then I'm just sending it to you. And if she sends me an email, well, then there we go. So it'll make it to the household. How about that? So we do have some Gorn. And this is from Justin Lowe. How low can you go? Well, evidently, this low. So let's take a look at the pretties. M. Gabriel is out there, by the way. I don't think there's any caption or anything that goes with this email. It's just Gorn. So Justin Lowe, if you are out there and want to explain what we're looking at, Packrat says she is working on the email. Okay. I don't want to start World War III in your household. So you guys settle it amongst yourselves. How about that? So shall we get a little bit closer look at this? Denny said those are 2 safes, Gary. Yes, there are 2 safes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 safes and 3 guns. Thank you for letting me know those were safes. I was a little confused as to what those were, though. So
I thought they were pizza ovens.
they could have been.
Yeah.
Denny's trying to be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza doesn't scream when you throw it in the oven.
Boomstick says that's the 3 guns Justin Lowe is giving me.
Well,
Wow.
apparently, Justin Lowe is Kentucky Rimfire Justin because he's saying what guns they are.
Right to left, Cooper 5722 LR. Okay. Denny says the question is the 10 one on the far left, is it another safe or a cabinet? Oh no.
Well, they each need their own home. I mean, come on.
He's more concerned about the safes than he are the guns.
Mm-hmm.
The red one is a H&R M12 22 long rifle. Oh, okay. Oh. So Kentucky Rimfire Justin is evidently the rebranded Justin Lowe. Okay, cool. And Winchester 52 pre 22 LR. So there you go. All right. And it looks like we have some stuff here from the Gun Snob.
Denny says he just appreciates a safe hoarder.
He did what now?
He appreciates a safe hoarder since he's one himself.
Oh, I see.
He said he means a collector. His words.
So these next pictures are from the Gun Snob. So if anybody out there takes offense, these are not my pictures. So here is picture number 1. That's pretty scary. She's going to get that gold no matter what. Okay, so here's our next picture. There are several, by the way. You may think you know who this is. I can assure you, you don't.
It's not Santa Claus?
It is not who it appears to be. Let's put it that way. but nearly a body double that they
Okay.
happened to find at SHOT Show.
I said, I didn't think Starch had put on any weight like that. Holy cow.
Okay. And then I'll show you, if you want a comparison picture, management wants you to spot the difference in these two men. Look like they could almost be twins. I was told that actually wasn't a picture that they posed for, that this is AI and the two actually hadn't met each other. But it's still a good picture.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been way better if they met each other.
I think so too. But here's something you don't see every day. Not in Oklahoma. Polar bears?
Could have escaped from the zoo.
Those are albino black bears.
He claimed this was right there in Oklahoma.
Albino black bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, now this is something Snob was working on this past week. I happened to see pictures of it, so now you get to see it too. The snow machine. And that look like a beast?
I want one.
Mm-hmm.
I need one. I want a flamethrower attachment, though.
That would be cool. I'll bet he could make that happen.
Also, the way you knew that those were not polar bears in the other photo, they don't have any Coca-Cola with them.
That's
Muska's
true.
like Hillary said, they're looking for some.
That's true.
Well, I can't read the chat, so.
What are you, blind?
No, just illiterate.
Oh. Okay, so if you want to see this beast in action, here you go.
Please tell me this is something that he had sent to him.
Well, he done some welding on it to make that blade up front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's had that thing for a while now. He just modified it.
Hold on. Did he steal a Marty from Walmart?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Almost makes you wonder how many new people are out there like, Marty, what are they talking about?
Okay, so here's another picture. I guess this is a finished product. There he cleared somebody's drive off real nice. That's before the road grader came through and piled it back up at the end again. Nice job. Whoops, there's another video. Is that part of that? I don't think that's part of that. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Now I can't get it to open. There we go. Sorry. Having technical issues here, folks. Okay. So let's take a look at this video. Saber Lancet 50 BMG. Nice. Need to get one, Rich.
I ain't got the money for that. Don't have anywhere to shoot it anyway. I have nowhere to shoot a 50 cal. There's just no range for that here.
Hey,
I would
you
shoot a 50 cal at a 25-yard range. I don't care.
make a place for it.
I'll go to the pistol range and shoot it 10 yards, whatever.
Well, the indoor range that we usually go to, you're not allowed to use a 50 cal in.
It's
But you can do
PSA.
anything
It'll be
once.
cheap.
No, they won't even let you in the front door with it.
Oh, did you say PSA is making that?
Yes.
Never mind.
Also making this pistol too, evidently. Okay. Then we've got this video. Cool.
Since when was Snob been able to record his fever dreams?
Okay, then one more. Oh, the Home Defender. Cool. You need to get that, Rich. Looks good.
No. Rich's home defense system is feline based.
This is better than the cat.
No, my home defense system is AR-15 based.
Now, I'm pretty sure it's feline based. There's nobody breaking into your house simply because of all the cats. They're afraid that they'll end up with taking one home.
Gun Snub says Gary needs a Taurus. I wouldn't mind having that.
I just want to know what it's chambered in.
I think
That Taurus
it's
is looks like
410, 45 Colt, probably.
that'd be my guess. Yeah, from the look of it, then the cylinder.
Okay, so we got this from Jacob. And he says,
45, 410.
anybody else seeing these signs going up? Customer notice the penny has been retired. I've never seen this particular sign, but our grocery store doesn't take pennies anymore.
Pack Rat's asking if you got her email.
I did. I just got it. Thank you for asking. Yeah, they round prices to the nearest nickel at our grocery store too. So, but that's a fancy sign. I like it. Okay. Oh, we got snow proof from Jacob. Couple pictures here. So first, let's look at the long range picture. This is proof of snow. Yes, I would say there's snow, but how much snow, you ask? Well, if we look at picture number 2, I'll show you exactly how much. So get ready, folks. $15.5 inches worth, almost, or 15 anyway. Yeah, I'll call it 14.5, 15, maybe 14. I don't know. 14 good inches. That's a good snow. Nice. Okay. Okay, so Jenny says, wow, that's a lot of snow. It sure is. I'll take a look at my Discord real quick and see if anybody submitted anything on my Discord server. I can't remember. Actually, yeah, because this was submitted actually for my Wednesday show. So nobody on here has ever seen it yet. So this is from DM Foss. And it's a headliner picture.
I saw this.
Yeah, didn't we see that last week?
Yeah, last Wednesday.
Oh, was it Wednesday?
Yeah. So you got a couple flasks up there and a couple, I guess one for the driver and one for the passenger.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Now, I said I hope they've got good retainment on those pistols because I wouldn't want those things falling out of that headliner and hitting me in the head. So I'm not sure how easy it would be to get those out of there if need be. I'm guessing they're kind of hard to get out of there. But it's a cool picture. And I think, let's see, Calamity Jean says, that's like the snows we had when I was a kid. Jacob says, very light and fluffy snow too, not heavy wet snow. Packrat says that's 16 inches too much. Yeah, I think so. So I do believe that is it for the Gorn this week. So what else going on? Got anything else to talk about real quick?
Oh.
No?
Heavy wet snow is the best snow.
Jacob S says it would have to be some kind of buckle suspension if they really were inlaid in the ceiling. I didn't see any buckle.
Could have been magnets.
That's possible too. Never thought about that. Better be damn strong magnets.
Some of these neodymium magnets that they have out there are supposed to hold like 30, 40 pounds. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Might just magnetize your gun too.
Only if we're lucky. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine a magnetic P320? Be like a super villain. There's something that hasn't been in the news recently. Any P320 stuff.
Oh, yes, there has.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
You're holding out on us.
What do you think the last guy who was shot up in Minneapolis had taken off him before he was shot as a 320?
Really?
Yeah. And I don't really want to get into it because, like I say, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother hour of discussion. But yes, I saw a picture of it. It is 320.
Didn't he say if we had time at the end, Rich?
No, I think me and Gary both agreed that we didn't want to get into
I don't
that.
want to do Rich White type shows where we're here till 1:30 in the morning or something like that, you know. Yeah, the guy in Minnesota had one. That's exactly right, Pat Grant. Mr. Pretty. Or Pretty.
And since it was ice, they may have had them too.
So Jacob just sent me a picture that's a Google photo. Wow. Oh, this is actually a video. I can probably play it. Let me see. Probably. Let's see what happens. Can't no more than fail. And in his email, he said, had a goalie fight at the hockey game Friday. Hey, very
Oh,
rare
those are the
fight.
best.
Yeah, that it's rare, but they're missing an opportunity, though. Star Wars night on January 24th.
Why is there a cowbell?
I think that's somebody banging against the glass or something like that. But it does kind of sound like a cowbell.
Mhm.
It is Indiana, so
Yeah, there's people ringing cowbells in the audience. I saw them there on the
Oh,
end.
okay.
You can see when they pull away here in front of the glass. You'll see a few of them. See?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. You don't see that every day. That's for sure. Real quick, Justin Grimm just sent me something. And this is goes along with one of the other pictures we saw tonight. So
About time. He's late.
So there you go. If you want something that can be inset in your vehicle, how about this? Built into the back of the seat.
Yeah, you could do something like that in the back seat of the Maverick, because the
What are we-
back seat of the Maverick pulls down, and you could put something like that in there.
What is it? It does not contrast enough for me.
It's a picture of looks like a Chevy pickup, probably about 72, 73 vintage, something like that.
Yeah, something 70s. yeah.
And the front seat is folded forward, and there's a plastic panel on the back with an inset. Looks like a Henry rifle.
It looks like a Winchester.
Is it a Winchester?
Yeah, it looks like a Winchester.
Whatever it is, it's custom made for that to fit right in there. That is super.
Well, maybe it is a
Cool.
Henry. Trying to see. Yeah, there's no loading gate. Yeah, so that probably is a Henry.
I thought it had, maybe not. Okay. No, there's no loading gate.
Yeah, there's an ejection port, not a loading gate.
Yeah, you're right. Whatever it is, it's cool. I like the pickup personally.
Mhm.
I had a friend that had one that year. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I recognize that flat glove compartment and that dash. That's an early 70s series. If we got any experts out there, I think that's a custom steering wheel, and a custom head unit built into the dash there, obviously.
Yeah, that's a lot of custom on there.
I think it's super cool because you got some old and new in there. I really like that.
Yeah, it looks like a resto mod.
Oh, it's an automatic. I thought that was a 3 on a tree for a second, but it's just got the single
Yeah, look at the brake pedal, Gary.
brake
Gee.
pedal. Yes, it's an automatic. And brass frame, he says, huh?
Mhm.
Denny says, I'd want my AR in the back of the seat. Denny says, good night. Good night.
Good night.
So, that being the case, and being as we got about 5 minutes to go, it is that time of the show where we ask, what did you learn? So I'm going to ask my panelists what they learned during tonight's show, and then I'm going to give them the opportunity to plug whatever it is they want to plug, their own channel or whatever. So, Rich White, what'd you learn tonight?
I learned that Snob thinks that you should be a cheapskate and only give people $2.50 for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, well, it's not his show. I do what I want. So what have you got coming up for us, Rich?
Yeah, we do this show called This Week Unloaded, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Unloaded Media channel, and talk about a little bit of everything on that show. Last night's a perfect example.
That's for sure.
I think we
And
covered
next
100
week there
topics.
won't be any football games for me to watch. So I may
Yeah,
have
we
to,
won't have.
I may have to be there for the whole damn thing. Shit.
Yeah, we won't have football to talk about next week.
I know. We'll think of something. Anything else?
No, not for this week. No.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. Let's go to Guns and Barbecue. What did you learn, sir?
I learned that the gun snob got lucky and gave Stacy 2 inches.
It could have just gave her a chapstick, to be honest.
He didn't say 2 inches of what. He just got lucky.
Yeah.
With
That's true. That's
It
true.
could have been
Did
just-
not specify. We're
It could have
only
been a
guessing.
small tape
We're
measure.
only making innuendo out of this. It may not be innuendo at all. So anyway. So what have you got coming up?
Probably a show on Thursday, most likely. That's about it. That's it. Yep.
Well, alrighty then. And thank you for being here. As always. Did I learn anything? No, not really. But as for me, channel members this Wednesday, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central, the members only chat where I give away one of the knives I've reviewed in the past. What knife will it be this week and who's going to win it? We'll find out later on in the week. But one of the perks for being a channel member on my channel, they're going across the bottom of your screen as we speak. So thanks to all the channel members for their support. Thanks to everybody watching tonight, whether you watched on YouTube or Twitch or Rumble or all three if you're Jacob. Yeah, and thanks to my panelists tonight for making this a great show. Real quick, Pack Rats just put his channel out there in the chat, so go out there and click on that. Subscribe to Pack Rats Attic. He might get something out this week. There you go. Get on there, subscribe to his channel, check out everything he's got going on. We'll be back next week with another edition of Fowl Territory, as always, Monday nights at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Hopefully everybody's going to recover from the cold weather and the snow. All will be good soon. Trust me. I think we're at the tail end of this. Hopefully we're going to come out of this just fine. So everybody have a great week. We'll see you next week. Some of you I'll see later on this week. And as we go, I leave you with this. If anyone tries to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms, give them the bird. This is Gizzard Gary. Everybody have a great night. Rich's cat says good night. And you guys tell everybody good night, and I'll roll the end credits.
Good night.
You guys already got it, and I'll roll the end credits.
It's been done before. Anyway,
Been done before.
good night, everybody.